I know.
You know?
Yeah, felt that way too. You just
Yeah.
verbalized it.
Yep.
What's up, folks?
What up, folks? We're making pizza today.
Making an old world square tomato pie.
Yeah.
Thin crust. Not
thick.
not like that Sicilian, which is good, but
Yeah.
it's gonna be a thinner crust. We got our freshly made pizza dough. Kind of looks like liquid. It's it's good to go. It's been about an hour and 20 minutes. That's
If you go to our bread episode, we'll show you how to make that.
right. It's going to be the same dough
Same.
for our house bread, the homemade bread, and the pizza dough is going to be exactly the same.
Yep.
Same time,
Same spiel.
rising and everything. Yeah. So the first thing we want to do for this, before we even shape and everything, we're definitely going to do the sauce first.
Alright.
We got one tomato cut up here. Shawn's got the garlic cut up. We actually got a whole bunch of fresh basil, which, like, just the aroma off of these things, if anybody knows, is really great. I'm gonna make what's called a chiffonade. Basically, you're just taking progressively larger and smaller pieces of basil. What I'd like to do is I just like to roll them up. It's an easy way to cut it, so you're not cutting just a few at a time or individual at a time. Just kind of doing,
Something like that to the side.
just kind of doing thin slices, and then maybe turn the whole thing, or you can turn your cutting board if you have enough room, and just go back at it. And that's really good enough for the sauce. It's pretty. It's like really like pungent. It's very, very powerful. You don't need a whole lot. So yeah, first thing's the sauce. We're gonna saute that garlic first, Shawn. That's gonna be number one.
Do that.
Nice. Some olive oil. Oh. Just a smidge more. Cool. Smidge. Very technical term.
Yeah, I was gonna say
Very technical term. Nice.
Americans will measure at anything except metric, right?
Right. Yeah.
Smash.
Yeah. The rest of the world has got it down pat. But I just need a. Oh. This is clean. Oh, you got one.
Pizza 2.
You did.
Burger still.
So we don't want this too crazy high. Cause definitely don't want your garlic to burn.
Yeah.
Worst thing, folks.
Yeah.
Your garlic just ruins every dish. There's nowhere where it's used. There's nowhere where it's. You can have your something like aglio e olio, which is basically, garlic and oil, right? You can cut them really, really thin. I like to cut them thin when I'm making that. And you can have them kind of brown up pretty good. Just got to be careful. Another 30 seconds and your dish is kind of ruined. So for here, and then once we put those fresh, we're going to combine sauce and fresh tomatoes with this.
And normally you do all tomatoes.
Normally I do all fresh tomatoes and just cook them down a little bit. It's a pizza sauce, so a lot of people, fresh oregano is really good. It just tastes really good in it. I kind of like it the same way I like my pasta sauce with basil, especially fresh basil. It just makes a big world of difference. All right. Well, we're just going to use the, for right now, just the basil.
Okay.
You can put a little bit of that in if you want.
Yeah.
By all means. That's not a wrong move at all.
There's no wrong moves here.
So
right?
it's kind of a higher heat, so I'm just being careful watching it. So now, Shawn, if you could, get those fresh tomatoes.
Yes, sir.
And once we put it in there, we're going to incorporate a lot of liquid from the tomatoes. It's going to stop the process kind of right away. Great. Now we're not necessarily going to cook these down. Just going to incorporate these. Some people, when you're doing just all fresh tomato, they'll put some paste just to kind of thicken it up.
Okay.
Kind of give that richness with the garlic.
Yeah.
Here it's kind of optional. A lot of people, and even me sometimes, will do some red pepper flakes. I don't know. Sometimes I do it, sometimes I don't. So from here, Shawn, let's add in that sauce. Yeah, this isn't where, normally I would cook all the tomatoes down. Cool. So we're going to infuse all this with all that fresh garlic, the olive oil. Also, let's hit it with some fresh black pepper. That'll be pretty good in this. Bump up the heat a little bit. Yeah, for pizza sauce, I don't cook it down as much. I do like to give it a quick, you have to, cook down the garlic anyway, so kind of works and it makes sense.
Sure.
So with each, second, we are losing a little bit of moisture, which is fine. Cool. Ooh, perfect. Perfect.
Maybe a little too much.
That's all right. So here, off with the heat.
Yeah.
Going to add just a little bit of, put a little bit of salt, Shawn. And I'm putting just a little bit of olive oil, not much. Perfect. Now I'm going to shut off the heat. Now I'm going to add the fresh basil. Cool. And that is just going to, the heat's off, the cooking process is really done. It's still sort of technically going on because it's so hot. But that basil, all the oils, is just going to infuse. Another trick that I did with the bay leaves for the French onion, I kind of smack the leaves, breaks all the veins, releases all that a little easier. You can do that with the basil leaves too if they're nice and fresh. You're going to put them in whole, even just give them a smack before you quick cut them up. Just going to help release all that flavor. And that makes, actually makes a difference. It's worth doing it. All right. Ooh, that is done. It's really that quick. Again, it's a pizza sauce. I don't like really cooked. Don't want to do that with this. Yeah. So we're going to move on to shaping that dough.
Yeah. We got the dough. After it's shaped, you lay the cheese down, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
And then we lay the sauce.
Cheese for my tomato pie, my old world tomato pie, I like either mozzarella or provolone underneath the sauce.
All right.
I think that's a good move.
Very good.
Let me just move this over here. All right. Shawn, let me see that olive oil yet again.
Yes, sir.
We're definitely going to want to lubricate our peel here, the surface. You can use any surface. Could have used this too, but I had the peel. A little bit on there. Just so it doesn't stick on there.
Yeah. Keep it greasy.
Absolutely.
That's what I always say.
And I'm also going to do my roller as well.
Nice. You can tell I'm beat, huh? I got no energy.
It's getting to that point. You're right. That's all right.
Yeah.
I got a couple.
Yeah.
I got a couple little strides left.
All right.
We'll see.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. We'll put our last few strides into it, and then.
So this is the size that we picked. Just a small tomato pie. Nothing too crazy. So we're gonna need enough dough for that. It's better to use more dough in the beginning because we can always cut around it.
Okay.
You know what we're gonna need. Actually, I'm gonna put a little bit on my hands too, just a little bit. And let's see. I think about a little less than half of that. Yeah. Just gonna start the size of that pan. If you're doing, a regular round pizza and you have the stone, you have the steel in there, then you can put that right on your peel with some larger size, flour.
Okay.
just gonna. Usually I shape it a little even more to a sort of a square or a rectangle, whatever pan I'm using.
Okay.
But we're gonna roll it out pretty thin, so we're gonna have a lot of extra on the sides.
Okay.
So, you know. Know what I mean? Yeah. Cool. This is like, for me, kneading the dough and rolling it out, it's just like a therapeutic. It really is. It's like a relaxing thing to do.
Oh, it's one of those.
It's not like work.
Yeah.
Really. I just.
Doing the dishes used to be like that for me.
You told me that. That's interesting.
You just lean over the sink and you just got music going and you just wash dishes.
Oh yeah, yeah. Like for me, sort of something similar. I think I have done that with the dishes. Like in general, when I'm doing little tasks or tedious things, or I was doing homework, I would have to have something on. I couldn't concentrate with it, you know.
Oh yeah.
I could, but I would prefer something on in the background. I'll have people over. I'll turn the TV on real low, a neutral channel like the Science Channel or something. Yeah, absolutely. Now we're not going to use this much dough, but I want to make it enough to where it fits that container. So let's see. That's about right. Just so I kind of know.
Okay.
In general, where it's at.
Impression.
And sweet. Just gonna ask for one of those.
Oh, yeah. Read your mind.
Yep. One more time.
We all know I'm a great telepath.
Yeah. I always know what's going on, Shawn, for sure.
It's called reading the room.
Mm-hmm. That's good for poker, dude.
Yeah.
Chef's privilege right here. There's no eggs in here, so. That's really good. Just eating it like that, plain. Okay. Cool. And actually with these, could do it later. I could have made garlic knots. I would take these, roll it up, kind of twist them, make a knot.
Okay.
Put them with like salt, pepper, olive oil, cheese, bake them, something like that. Yeah, real easy to make those.
That sounds great.
That's another episode, folks.
Yeah.
So, got the oil underneath so it doesn't stick. Sometimes it still does a little bit, but probably not going to be a problem. Okay, cool. See if we can do this without pre-lubricate our pan. Not too much, but you really want enough to where that does not stick while it's while that's cooking. Don't want that to happen. So even a little more is fine, then a little less for this. Make sure you get the sides. You want it to release real nice and this will give it a crisp bottom too. Depending on the heat of your oven, depending on a couple different things. All right, try to transfer here.
This already looks good.
Okay.
Square, thin dough. Like, you know what's going on it, you know?
Right.
The cheese, sauce, it's like...
Yep. And this is where you're gonna get the base shape, but this is where I'm gonna just basically be pressing it up against the sides. This is a part where you're gonna use one of your best tools, your hands for this. And I'm kind of like pinching it. So it's kind of really, it's giving back a little bit. It wants to keep returning.
Yeah.
So.
Actually. Is it forgiving?
Yeah. And like you can patch it if I, mess up or a little part is a little thin and there's a hole. Just take a piece of the extra dough or a piece of extra dough here, just patch it. It's easy to fix. Cool. There's definitely enough oil that shouldn't release as we're cooking it. So now we're gonna build. First things first, Shawn. I like cheese underneath my tomato pie.
Nice.
And people might say, oh, well, that's not a tomato pie, but it is. Cheese underneath. So let's see, we just have enough here where I'm just gonna kind of scatter it a little bit. We may or may not have enough provolone to do everywhere. We should. You know what? Yeah, we should. Usually for like a bigger pan, I would just put the whole pieces, thick piece, mozzarella, provolone, just everywhere, but...
I do have a little mozzarella we can sprinkle on there if we need to.
Okay, we should be good. Should be good. So that's good right there. Normally I like to do cheese all the way up to the crust, right?
Yeah.
From here, we're gonna build it. You wanna bring that over here? Sure do. Sure do, guy. I used to work with someone who said it all the time.
Sure.
Hey, guy. Just thinking of that. All right. Sure do, guy. Put this on evenly-ish. We even could have made a little bit of more sauce, but and then when it's right. This is just kind of get that initial thing. Shawn, if you'll do the honors, just taking a spoon, and or if you want to use the spatula.
Oh, sure.
You know what? Let me see. I might be able to do it. Oh, you know what? This works pretty good. I was gonna say at home I always get a spoon, but now what I like to put on here is actually some of that imported Parmesan grated cheese.
Boy.
So now everyone's like, oh, well, this is definitely turning into a cheese pie.
Yeah.
Sometimes I make this without any cheese at all, top or bottom.
Huh.
I just really like
I use dough.
Yeah.
Dough and sauce.
Yeah, it's really that's an actual real tomato pie, but this still is because that's what I've named it, and that's what it is. Sweet. That's good enough. Doesn't have to be perfect. Shawn, executive decision time. Whatever you think is good on our pie there.
Alright.
Yeah. Yeah, don't overdo it, just evenly. That's the... That looks like plenty right there. That looks perfect.
That's good?
Yeah. So right now, our oven's preheated. I think I have it at like 450. Yeah.
Wow.
425, 450. This is going to cook pretty quick.
Nice.
Boom. Nice. So, waiting game yet again. And we'll be back once that's done.
10 to 12 minutes.
Yeah, about, depending on your heat of your oven. So. Well, Shawn.
Yeah.
About time to take that pizza out.
Looks like pizza time.
Sweet. Yeah, it's definitely gotta be done. You have the same materials, same crust, same dough, same heat. I know that it's gonna be done.
It's a fact.
That looks really, really perfect. Wow. And what I like to do is just do me a favor, I don't want to touch it. Just turn it this way.
Yeah.
We're just gonna see the bottom of this. It doesn't have to be super crispy or brown, but we're just gonna lift this up, and it should be, first of all, you can hear that.
Yeah.
That turned out really good. Yeah. And see the bottom? How it's brown? You can take a look, Shawn.
Ooh, yeah.
That turned out great. Put enough olive oil under it.
That's perfect.
Everything's always the same. What I like to do at the very end,
Yeah.
I just did a little chiffonade with some fresh basil we had. That's just gonna go just kind of randomly all over. Not just for a garnish per se. It actually gives it a...
Yeah.
Trying to do it in little pieces. It's all kind of sticking, but that's all right.
Gives it a little something.
Yeah. Cool. Excellent. So where was that cutter? Oh, you got the cutter. Okay.
Cutter is on the way.
We could probably get like 6 or 8. Well, 6 slices out of it.
Yeah.
Whatever you think. However you want to cut it.
Yeah, I think a good, right?
Little, maybe one here, and then this way, right?
Yeah. That's what I'm thinking.
And what I'll do is I'll lift this up so you can cut here.
Okay.
Because like you have to move it a little bit.
Oh yeah, I got it.
Just to cut that crust.
Yeah.
Cool.
Crust chopped. There we go.
Wow.
We can get a good 8 slices.
That is steaming. Oh, you want to do 8? Okay.
Yeah, I'll give it a quick. Maybe.
That is really crunchy. That's great.
We'll see how I do.
I'll put these back in there, you know.
Okay.
Looking good, and it smells great. Cool. Let's see. If I can just separate just the crust. Oh, great. Cool.
Looking perfecto.
Take whatever piece you want. I'm good with this piece right here.
All right.
And don't forget, we got the provolone underneath, just a thin layer. That cheese on top, that extra fresh garnish of basil. Yeah. Really hot.
The texture.
The texture is, it's got this really, you don't have to, but I really try to go for this this hard exterior, and underneath is, you know, that's kind of, you know, like, that's just perfect. Kind of crisp, right?
All right.
And you got that gooey cheese in the middle. The sauce is great. Like garlic, that olive oil, a little salt, pepper, and basil cooked into it as we were cooking the sauce. Perfect.
Delicious.
That turned out great.
Yeah.
That turned out real good.
What do you say? Another self-congratulations in order?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Make it official. Boom. Nice. Pretty happy with that. Turned out great.
Pizza, tomato pie.
Real simple ingredients, but you know the way they come together just makes a.
I'm never ordering out every